Celebs Radio Network presents Fireside Chat with Larry and Paul.
Oh, the voice of an angel.
Stunning.
And with that, we open the next season, the new season of Larry and Paul.
Season, what is it? About 18.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Season 18 of Larry and Paul starts here and now. Welcome to this Fireside Chat with Larry.
Oh, sorry.
And
Oh,
also
sorry.
with Paul, don't worry about it. Both giddy because we've sort of had August off mainly. You've just come back, haven't you?
Just got back off me old.
Ollie Bobbles.
Yeah.
What did you bring me back?
It
I
were
didn't ask you how it
really
was. What did you bring me back?
Well,
Because now I always bring you a present when I go away somewhere. What have you got?
it was my birthday while you were away. I had the kindness to be here for your birthday.
But what did you get me from Alicante or wherever you were?
Nothing. Could have got you a little Pokemon hat with handles on it where you squeeze them and the ears come up.
I'd have taken it.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Sorry, but my 7-year-old daughter's got that.
Come on!
Could have got you some hair braids, but you weren't there. They'd have a bit of that in Spain.
So I think you can braid this, can you?
Yeah, you could try.
I'll have a go. Did you have a lovely time? Now you can answer that question.
Yes, it was a nice time. And I got back and I went, why do we live in Britain?
Cool. Raring to go for another one. I know. It's all September now. Is it all back to school and grey and Grenfell and all that?
Weathery.
Very weathery.
Yeah, but a country badly run by bad people.
Yeah. Is it still bad people in charge? Is it change of
I don't
government
know.
now?
Yeah,
Is it
no,
bad
I
people
don't know.
or is it just who knows? But hey, whatever happens, we gotta do some comedy about it.
What? You all right?
I've got to do a lot of comedy about it, haven't we?
Yeah,
Got
we
to do
have.
Breaking news is we're going back straight into that, aren't we?
Straight back into it. We've got a couple that are not ready. We're just starting to write them. But
Yeah, we'll
it's
probably
like,
finish them off tomorrow, won't we?
it's
Put
like
them
getting
out
back on the
for
bike,
iTalk.
isn't it? It's like
It
getting
is.
back on the bike. It's like, oh, how do we? What is a joke?
We're hitting the ground running. We're sort of doing a bit corporate work, aren't we? We've got a little bit of writing. Have I got news for you? Have just asked us to go back and do another ep.
That's good. We've got another short film, which is in
nice.
the process, which is still in the scripting part of it, but it's getting close.
And we've got to get all this apparatus back up and running as well, haven't we? We've got to think about the podcast that we did in the summer, what we're going to do with that. Also, thank you very much to those of you who emailed us, hello@larryandpaul.com, saying that they would like to see the pilot of the podcast. We will release it, won't we, at some point?
we will. We have it, don't we?
Just in the circle of trust, though, just in the
Circle of
flaps.
trust.
Of course, this is what you get being a flap, a friend of Larry and Paul, if you support us monthly, a fireside chat, a look behind the scenes, a peek behind the curtain, if you will.
So we're back for a bit, although you're going to
It's only for 5 days I'm going
a
away.
long-standing birthday. Oh, hang on. Is there any chance that this will ruin a surprise for somebody?
Possibly. I'm going to America, but it's only for 5 days. So it's
Right,
not.
okay.
So it's like a long weekend.
Yeah, but it's
basically.
exciting. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I mean, what's exciting anymore, eh?
Going to America.
You get to the grand old age of 40, like me, and you
Yeah.
start to think, what's exciting? What is there left to look out for?
You're off to America. I'm off to Withensea.
Oh!
I've just been on the phone to the Withensea Lighthouse,
Ah.
which has something to do with the corporate projects that we're working on.
Yeah.
So on Saturday, I'm off to do a recce.
Well, you're off
so
on a holiday, but you just
I'm off
happen
on
to be
holiday.
going another holiday. Johnny, 3 holidays over here.
Well, I'm having
How long are you going to Withensea for?
2 days.
2 days? We can't afford 2 days. What days are you going?
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday, we can't afford Saturday and Sunday off. Jesus, what do you think this is?
I'm having a bit of time on the East Coast this coming autumn because I'm also going up to see our friends in the old Bamborough.
Bamborough. Oh, it's a lovely part of the world, Bamborough up there, isn't it?
This is where I grew up, going to the coast.
Another lovely lighthouse in Bamborough as well.
There is.
Go and visit if you like lighthouses.
Flamborough.
Bamborough, Canberra, Wamborough.
Yeah. Did you go to Holy Island while you were up there?
Is that Farne Islands? Is that the same thing?
Lindisfarne.
Yeah, I was there.
Did you go?
Went around on a boat trip, saw the seals.
Oh, excellent.
Didn't
That's
see no
nice.
puffins.
We used to go to Lindisfarne when we were kids.
Oh yeah.
Lindisfarne, famous of course,
Sells
for,
frozen food.
for for doing Fog on the Tyne with Gaza. Is that right? I think that's right.
Well, you just said it like it was a fact, and then you
I think
questioned
it's
it.
a fact, unless they did some other football song. I'm pretty sure it was Fog on the Tyne is all mine, all mine. Do you remember? Fog on the Tyne is all mine. Fog on the Tyne is all mine, all mine. Fog on the Tyne is all mine. Gaza rap. Sitting at a sickly snack bar, sucking sickly sausage rolls
What?
in the dirty old jack in the back of the town. Setting my sights for a good girl.
Kingston Town. Wonderful speech. Really,
Yeah,
really
that's
redolent of Jamaica.
That's Sting.
Beautiful sounds there. Authentic island sounds there from Larry Budd. Yeah. What else do we have going on, Larry Budd, in the world of Larry and Paul, apart from lots of things?
Well, you just listed them all.
I didn't I? Just rattled them off.
Yeah, you've rattled them off, so now we've got nothing.
I feel rusty, don't you, doing this sort of thing? I feel
Doing this sort of thing or writing the... I felt Rusty starting to write a broken news.
rusted it all. It's all
Yeah.
rusted over.
Yeah.
Like the Titanic. What's the deal with the Titanic? Why is everyone so concerned about it?
Why are they worried about it breaking down?
It's what it's meant to do. It's a shipwreck.
Yeah. A shipwreck. That's what I call it.
But what are they like? It's going to disintegrate.
Has anybody ever talked about raising it, or is it just too expensive?
I remember watching that film. It's rubbish, isn't it?
What, Titanic?
Raise the Titanic.
Oh, right. No, is it
There's a film in the 70s called Raise the Titanic. They put a load of balloons in the hull or something, and it raises it.
Just put a load of balloons in Hull. What's the point?
In the
of that?
hull of the Titanic, and then it raises it.
So it's a dramatisation. It's not something.
Yeah,
that's
I
not-
watched it when I was like 5 or something, when
Right.
I was obsessed with the Titanic.
Yeah. Does anybody know why they don't raise the Titanic?
I
imagine
guess it
it's
would
cost.
disintegrate, wouldn't it?
Well,
At
now
this
it
stage,
would.
yeah.
They haven't struck while the iron's hot or cold.
But what would you
or
do with it? I mean, it's a
flooded.
graveyard. Let it be. Let it rest.
Oh, John Lennon. Actually, Paul. I've forgotten his name. What the flip is his name?
Oh.
Paul McCartney. I was going, Paul McIntyre. Phil McIntyre.
What?
Paul McKenna.
Paul McKenna. You ever eat an apple as an onion as if it was an apple?
Who's that?
Paul McKenna.
Is he?
Well, I wasn't impressed of him. Do you remember he used to have a show in the 90s where people used to eat onions as if they're apples? He had a primetime ITV show.
And that was the main thrust of it, was it?
People doing silly things, yeah.
Right. Oh, as in they were hypnotised people.
Yeah, they just didn't eat onions. Or they could have done. They tried to hypnotise me once, but it didn't work.
No.
They said I was too strong-minded.
Yeah.
Finally.
It happens every day, you just don't remember. You were saying the coffee was off.
How long? Yeah, God, it was bitter. How long did it take for us to lower the tone?
8 minutes.
8 minutes
Yeah,
and 20 seconds.
yeah,
So if you got that on your bingo card, cross that off.
Yeah, well done.
hello@larryandpaul.com and you will win a prize. It's going to be a short one. Is it going to be a short introduction? Because it's been a few weeks since we've seen you. What else has been going on in our world?
I was raging about something and I was going to rage to you about it.
Oh,
and,
no.
And now I can't remember quite what it was.
Larry Budd's Middle Class Rage.
Yeah. I did go to the Chapel Allerton Arts Festival, right? You can see the things on the back of my hand.
Arse Festival.
They rub off immediately on all your clothes and then they stay in your hands.
Stamps.
So they never come off. But I went to see Backchat Brass, who are like a funky brass outfit.
I'm aware of them, yeah.
And they're absolutely brilliant. And I went to buy a T-shirt afterwards, and
Yeah.
the lead guy came down and said, "Can I buy a T-shirt?" He went, and he said, "You're Larry from Larry and Paul."
Ah, you were recognised.
Charged me full price. No, I'm joking. I wanted to support them, but I got recognised.
They got you a discount?
No.
Oh, you paid full price?
Yeah, I wasn't going to offer a discount.
No, you're not going to offer a discount. You're supporting the local band.
That was my joke.
Fucking hell.
I've got T-shirts from at least 3 local musicians.
Name them.
You, Backchat Brass,
Yeah.
Hope and Social,
Yeah.
Ella.
Who?
Ella.
Who?
Ella. ELLUR. I said about 2 years ago, if I could buy shares in an artist, she would be the one, because I reckon she's going to be...
Where's she now?
she did lead festival.
Fair enough. Do you not have Gary Stewart's T-shirt? I imagine you have the T-shirt of Gary Stewart.
I might get his Graceland T-shirt
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
do one.
I was going
I'm
to
not
say.
sure if he definitely does do one. But no, so I've got a few T-shirts. What about you?
I've got some t-shirts. Yeah, sure, cool. All roughly size L, M when I was a bit slimmer, but sort of fill it out around here.
Some XL after this summer.
Some XL after this summer. Yeah, it was pretty. Speaking of Graceland and summery things, when I was away in the Czech Republic, which now seems like years ago, one thing I decided to do was listen to Rolling Stones albums, as in the Rolling Stone magazine's 500 greatest albums. It's a list that they update every now and again, going backwards from 500, which is a really lovely thing to do on a long road trip, because you get to hear all sorts of stuff that you'd never listen to ordinarily. For me, it would be just like Bond soundtracks otherwise. But we listen to all sorts of like Arcade Fire and Bonnie Raitt, and Shakira's album that was almost entirely in Spanish, obviously. And then one of them was like Ladysmith Black Mambazo with like a load of, it's called like Soweto Sounds or something.
Yeah.
And listening to it, I was like, fuck me, Paul Simon just absolutely ripped all that off, didn't he? And culturally appropriated the tits off it.
But to be fair to Paul Simon,
No!
Ladysmith were on the album.
Yeah, so it's a little bit like, hey, I'm stealing all of your sounds. Do you want a little crumb from a tiny little table? Because he's a tiny man.
There was an argument that it should have been Paul Simon and Ladysmith as an album, as opposed to... Cause I think that's what the row is, really. But it was a collaboration.
Well, I'm sorry, I listened to it and I just thought, come on, mate, you've just gone, oh, I like that. However he talks.
Yeah. I went to see Ladysmith Black Mambazo in Bradford.
Yeah. Like a white saviour.
About 15 years ago. And guys, you could be really big.
Listen, if you just westernise your sound a little bit, if you just let me work with you.
Yeah, listen to this.
But yeah, I mean, I listened to that and I was just like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well,
I don't know. That's all I knew about it. I knew nothing about the context or anything, but I just listened to it and just went, oh, come on.
All of that. Is that allowed? I think that's allowed. I had a car while I was abroad. And
Cool.
I was massively ripped off, because my flight was delayed.
Oh, you went viral.
Went viral.
Lead with that. That's interesting. Not the shit you're about to say.
I did a Twitter thread about being in the Yorkshire's premier airport, Leeds Bradford,
glorified shed.
9 hours.
9 hours.
And how shockingly bad that airport
But you'd
is.
gone through security, so you couldn't do anything about it.
Couldn't leave.
Because I was thinking, if you weren't, I was going to come and bring you stuff.
Yeah.
But you'd already gone through security, so I couldn't.
Wasn't allowed to leave. How ridiculous.
Went viral though, didn't he?
Went viral, did a Twitter thread about how shit everything is, and by the time I got off the plane, 2.5 million people had read it.
You're like that woman who wrote something like, I'm going to Africa, I hope I don't get AIDS.
It was very much
By the
just
time
like
she
that.
got off the... Do you remember
been
that? She got
sacked.
cancelled. She'd been sacked from her own job. So you're fired is what I want to say.
She sued over that, didn't she? She won. And that
Did
was
she?
quite recent, yeah.
Wow.
I think that's right.
The pendulum swings the other way.
When I got to Spain, they said, you can't have the car that you've hired.
What car did you hire out of interest?
An Audi Q2.
Mini SUV.
Yeah, it's quite cheap.
Yeah.
They said, you can't have that because you're late. And I was like, what? I told you I was late, and you had my flight number, and this is Jet2 car hire, and I just flew on Jet2.
So there's like almost like an addendum to the viral thread.
Yeah, and so they said I had to pay, and I had to pay double to actually get a car.
Get shitted.
Anyway, the whole point was, you were talking about road trips. I was driving a Link & Co. Ever heard of it?
No.
No, don't. It's a Volvo, apparently, under a different badge. They've rebadged it.
They're very badge that you're full, but even Volvos are made by China. China now.
Well, it's all run on computer, and the computer kept crashing.
That's what cars are now. I hate to shock you.
Yeah.
That's what cars are now.
It kept crashing at one point. I'm on the motorway.
Crashing in what sense?
The computer crashed.
Computer crash. Good.
which,
That's important.
which took power from the engine. Stopped power to the engine.
What the shit?
Because it was a hybrid,
Yeah.
trying to skip between the two things of electricity and petrol,
Yeah.
and it lost contact with itself or whatever while it was doing the transition. So I had no power.
Jeebus.
Going 120 kilometres on the A7.
Speeding.
Or whatever it was.
Speeding. It was a
No,
30.
That was the.
It was a.
It was a 30.
It was
yeah.
a 30.
It was a residential
Oh
road.
no!
Anyway, don't get a Link & Co. But
I've never even heard of it. So
But I did. I was really interested to go and charge it, to plug it in and charge it.
How interested were you?
I was very interested, and I
Right.
think other people would be if they're interested in hybrid cars and electric cars. 2.5 hours it took to fill the battery, 32 kilowatt hours. That cost €7.50, but it only got me about 60 kilometres.
God.
And I would have expected more. So, hello@larryandpaul.com if you would expect more or less than 60 kilometres out of a 32 kilowatt hour fully charged battery on a hybrid Lincoln Co, formerly Volvo.
I don't think it's formerly Volvo. It's just made by the people who make Volvo.
By Volvo.
They're all made by. I can't continue this shit. They're all basically made by like 4 companies now, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then what's the one that I've never heard of that's meant to be the biggest one? Build Your Dreams. BYD.
What's that?
What is that indeed?
It's a car maker.
The biggest car maker in the world. Have you heard of them? No.
No.
BYD. Have you heard of them? Hello@larryandpaul.com. Yeah. Look it up after this. I think it's BYD, and I think they're one of the big ones.
Do you know what I hate about car rental, though? I think I've gone through this.
I think, for me, car rental is one of the most adult things you can do. Every time I rent a car, I feel like I'm a man.
But don't you think it's a scam? So much of car rental should be illegal.
Like what? Oh, like that bullshit insurance they make you get. They try to make you get.
The bullshit insurance, the like tiny scratches that aren't considered wear and tear.
Not if you go through Enterprise, you've not got that problem.
Yeah, well.
I love Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and I usually opt and plump for them when I'm abroad.
They're not available out of Alicante, I'm afraid.
Well, they're not. No, that's a shame. Maybe we should get onto their global people, their global division, and see if they won't open a branch in Alicante.
My favourite return joke on Twitter, on my Twitter thread, was because I'd got the car through Jet2 Car Hire, but it's not really. It's actually rentalcars.com, but it's not really because they're actually booking.com, but it's not really. It's through a company called OK Mobility.
Who are owned by Volvo.
So, anyway, someone replied and said, well, you should have gone with Good Mobility, shouldn't you? Which I thought was actually quite a good joke. I laughed at that.
So what was the original company called? I was too busy thinking.
OK Mobility.
Right. Sorry, yeah.
So it's my fault for not going with Good Mobility.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was my fault for not really paying attention, too busy listening about trying to do the Volvo gag. So
I hate you.
We're really rusty at this.
Right, look,
we've waited enough. Oh my God, how's it become 17 minutes already?
Yeah, and it was after 8 minutes that we were doing the blowjob stuff. And you could argue that the car stuff was less sexy.
A lot less sexy.
You could argue that.
Hello@larryandpaul.com. BJs or
BYDs.
BYDs. Well done.
And would you expect more than 60k out of a full 32 kilowatt hour battery?
BJs or BMWs?
Yeah, that's the podcast. That's the Low Effort podcast.
It's a new podcast.
Yeah. I'm so sorry about showing you so much leg.
Yeah, you've been fairly leg-centric. But hey, maybe they've been missing it.
Quite a tan line, that, isn't it?
If you want to get in touch with us, we'll be part of Flap's mailbag next week. hello@larryandpaul.com. Send us a little message. Let us know that you're still on board, that you haven't abandoned us or given up hope because we've been so quiet recently. Broken news this week. Thank you very much for being a monthly supporter. I think that's everything.
Yeah, we love you. And we'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.
No.